Take a look at this Bitcoin fear and greed index today. Miles Deutsch has just tweeted it out. It's just hit extreme fear, hitting the dark red, at least on the graph I'm about to show you, at a 25 out of 100 score. Extreme fear is obviously on the left. Extreme greed is on the right in the green. Miles Deutsch says, finally, I agree with this. I'm going to tell you why I agree with that in just a second, but have a look. A lot of tokens down this morning as well. Bitcoin below $90,000, sitting at 88.7. It dipped all the way down to $86,000. Luckily, while I was asleep, no panic here. To be honest, I'm not panicking at all. I'm actually excited. I'm going to show you why. This graph right here. Here's the fear and greed index, currently sitting at 26. So actually not quite on the red, but down into that dark orange. You can see it actually hasn't hit the red ever. Okay, that's kind of fascinating. This goes back to 2023 and December being in red. The lowest it's ever been, guys, the yearly low was September 7th, 2024, with a matching fear as of today. Look right down there. That's the peak. And this is why I'm not worried. This is what really separates the men from the boys and the serious from just people who are just playing around. Have a look at every single time it's dipped into the orange, and have a look at every single time you wish you bought on this graph. Every time the price is at lows, every time you go into the orange zone is the time that you wish you bought, because you would have bought down here at $25,000, and then you can sell at the first sign of extreme greed up here at a price of $41,000, so almost a clean 2x. And every time, again, it dips, you want to buy on the actual dips, and you can see right here, this is a very, very strong dip. Obviously, the price is dipping with that. However, it's not all as terrible as it seems. I came over here to get some examples of some graphic disastrous drops, and I'm like, oh, it's actually, especially in the meme coin world, there's some life in memes today, and it's very interesting to see. Obviously, Melania doing her thing and sinking in the ship, but if you go by 24-hour volume, you can see something like Pippin's up 40%, Chill Guy, funny enough, is up 30%, Fwog, there's a couple others, Retardio up 24%, UFD today up 23%, Peanut the Squirrel, things that I didn't see bouncing early have been up, and I mean up 40%, up 30%. That's a decent amount of cash if you're moving large amounts in that you can get at peak fear. So you can just imagine when this thing turns around and gets back into that green, how crazy things are going to become. And a lot of people agree. Crypto God John says he's slowly deploying capital, buying more into high conviction spot plays. Spot plays are just making sure you're buying the token, you're not trading with leverage. Here seems like a no-brainer, and just what I showed you. It looks like a no-brainer spot to buy for people like John. Alex Becker agrees with his Giga Chad Harry Potter meme. Alex Becker says the same thing. In 6 months, you're going to look back at the current entry price in good utility, layer ones, AI, real-world asset, and games, and want to commit seppuku for not buying more. That's when the Japanese samurai falls on their own sword. Your entire bloodline will remember you as Cheapy, McBitch, Beta Bitch, Tits, Lettuce, Fumble Hand, Nancy. Long story short, he's saying this is a buy zone. I got more from Becker in just a second. Eric Trump, son of the US president, says buy the dips, with the B being in the Bitcoin, little B with the double, like the dollar sign, but for Bitcoin. Michael Saylor actually responded to Eric Trump saying volatility is a gift to the faithful. He talks about the difference between risk and volatility. For example, going on a roller coaster that could be extremely safe, not risky at all because it's all been tested, but it's going to be volatile. He says the same thing with Bitcoin. He says the same thing with crypto. Yes, it's volatile and the faithful get rewarded, but it's not risky. What's risky is putting your money into cash and getting it eaten by inflation, says Michael Saylor. I also agree. Nayib Bukele, who is the president. Guys, this is presidents and presidents' sons and multi-billionaires and institutions all telling you they can never beat you if you buy the dips. Literally, the president of El Salvador is telling you to buy the dip. He says presidential advice. This is back in 2021 dip. Alex Becker says, no, I'm not getting bearish on utility alts while institutions are buying $100 million clips. Again, the smart money's buying, the dumb money is selling. While Binance and whales manipulate things lower to buy more, as retail finally leaves memes. This is actually an interesting sentence I'm going to come back to here. Something I actually disagree with Alex Becker on. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that in a second. He says, you're crazy. This guy here, chuchunav.eth, sorry if I butchered that name, you said that you are 500% sure it's the bottom. Brother, are you sure? Alex Becker says, my money is where my mouth is. a lot of my money. I'm going to show you exactly how much money he's lost in a second, but I've also lost a tweet. I don't know if Becker deleted it. Maybe you guys can go find it and let me know. Tweet it at me. But Becker said that he bought $1 million worth of his highest conviction plays, I think yesterday or the day before. I was going to include in this video, but I've been looking for it for like 25 minutes and can't find it. Alex Becker, however, said, checked one of my portfolios. He says one of my portfolios down 27 million US dollars. You can see the size of this guy's portfolios. It's very impressive. Not a badge of honor. Obviously, single clip dumping it months ago was the optimal move. But yeah, you can't, Becker, because he's the one promoting it to his audience and taking the sponsorship money. You can't just let go of the token and sell it onto the market and dump the token and have everyone pay for your $27 million. Like that $27 million is in there because he's been telling people to buy it. But that's the short-term pro trader move and opposite to what I told you. Exactly what I'm saying there. Love me or hate me, I stick/hold to what I say. And this is the thing. A lot of influencers at the moment are dealing with a lot of hate because people have lost money, people are angry, people are upset, and they're depending on these influencers to have them make money. So you're seeing a lot of posts like this. Crypto Guy John put out a post like this about everyone just being bitter and salty. And obviously that's because a lot of people have lost money at the moment. But Becker says he sticks and holds to what he says, which is, I don't think the best price on utility is in until we see an ETH all-time high. He has faith in AI, real-world asset, and games. The same thing he's saying tweet after tweet. They will be the big utility winners. Quality layer ones that haven't moved should see 3 to 5x's. And like Becker going in with millions, you can go in with millions on things that have liquidity like big layer ones. This bet is still very much on and in play. My money/actions are where my mouth is, and I'm holding the bet and taking hits with you. I'm still super confident in this bet's risk to reward right here. He says there's 80% chance this bet is going to pay off. And if it does pay off, it's going to pay 3 to 5x on the layer ones and 10 to 50x's on these smaller tokens. So just the overall EV value of that bet is high, and he's putting his money where his mouth is, moving millions into the market. He also said, and I thought this was very true because this is the sentiment that I've been feeling at the moment. This post was deleted by the author, but we had someone reply, say the bottom is at about 80K levels for Bitcoin. Becker says, I don't even really see how 5 to 7% from here on Bitcoin or 20 or 30% here on alts even matters in the grand scope of the bull run reversal, because people are already down 70%. Some people down 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80%, depending on what tokens you've held. They don't really care if it's going to go down another 5% of their all-time high portfolio. They haven't sold already. They're unlikely to sell now. And you don't need to time the exact bottom. If we are reversing and seeing those 10, 20, 50x's, which all these big brains and smart money and institutional money is saying that we're going to be doing, well, who cares if you get 5% lower price or not, because you're going to 10, 20x your money if you can hold the volatility and be faithful. I thought this was a very interesting tweet from CZ Binance. The original tweet, let's go to the first tweet here. He says, in this bloodbath today, I see a lot of people referring to this tweet. For context, the Bitcoin price was $19,000 when this tweet was written 5 years ago, which is pretty crazy. Also, I had no visibility on the graph to the right of the cursor at the time that this was in the future. Zoom out. So this is the cursor right here. He had no idea that this massive bull run was basically coming as soon as he tweeted this tweet. What is his tweet? He tweeted out December 17, 2020. Waiting for the new headline, Bitcoin crashes from $100,000 to $85,000. This was 5 years ago he tweeted this when the price of Bitcoin was at $19,000 because people had reported that the Bitcoin price was going to crash at the $19,000 level. And guess what happened today, guys? Basically, the headline is that Bitcoin has gone from $100,000 down to $85,000 or whatever was in that tweet. He says it came true. Now, the interesting thing is he tweeted out a new tweet just this morning. Got 4 million views saying, waiting for the new headline that Bitcoin crashes from $1 million to $985,000. Save the tweet. Basically, sometime in the future, 3 to 5 years, I believe he was predicting, as somewhere in the comments that I read, that Bitcoin will be at $1 million, crash down to 985, and everyone will be like, well, there's no bull run this season. So this pullback has been predicted by the smartest people from many years. And this is another catalyst. So if you are getting pessimistic or hesitant that this is going to be a bull run or things are going to go up, just have a look at this. This is Tua Demista on Twitter saying, send this to people who think it's too late to buy Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, why are we talking about that? That's the music to everything. That's where all the money flows into. And all the alts ride off Bitcoin's liquidity and volatility, but with leverage. We're at 3% Bitcoin adoption in terms of how many people around the world actually hold Bitcoin. And you can see this is the equivalent of online banking in 1996. They had 3% of people online banking in 96. 3% of people were on social media in 2005, and 3% of people used the internet in 1990. You can see those tech revolutions absolutely soared to basically 100%, maybe around a 75, 80% saturation of the entire world. And so will Bitcoin. And guess what happens? The price will go up with it. And this is actually interesting, because Alex Becker put out this video just today, 3 hours ago, actually, and I watched it to help inform this video. But at the end, he says, now that we're down 80% and people are done with meme coins, people are going to flow back over to utility. I am actually a big believer in Murad's thesis. We have plenty of videos on this channel if you want to go watch what Murad's thesis is, but he thinks that we're going to see the world's first $100 billion and then $1 trillion meme coin, because people can understand memes. Becker says utility coins, but it's like, what is the actual utility of those tokens? You talk about Rendo, you talk about any other tokens you're buying into, especially the smaller ones at 30, 50, $60 million market cap. I wouldn't say they actually have a strong utility. However, I'm an investor and I think they're going to go up. I just wouldn't call them utility coins. And Murad says the same thing, and there's dilution to come, but people can understand meme coins. People can understand Dogecoin. It's a dog on a coin. It's funny. It's like a middle finger back to the establishment of the government and them printing money and making everybody poor. Why don't we all just get rich by putting our value into meme coins, having communities and bringing each other up? Murad says, people called me a schizo when I called Bitcoin to $100 trillion in 2018. Now it's commonplace consensus. Bitcoin, I believe, is about $2.5 trillion. It's not an absurd thesis to think it's going to get 100 trillion. In fact, in crypto circles, everyone thinks it is, and that's why they think altcoins are going to fly with it. And now he's saying SPX 6900, this meme coin, what he thinks is going to be the biggest meme coin in the world, is going to $1 trillion plus, and he actually owns 2% of the supply, so that would be very impressive. Even Miles Deutscher, who has been a little bit down, his vibe has been a little bit more dejected than normal, says, now is the real time to get excited. There have been no opportunities for weeks. This is why you can sort of feel the energy. It's like, what's going on out there in the market? We need some action. We need some things going up. Now, there are dozens of setups starting to present. Dips create dislocations, asymmetries, and opportunities. He's retweeted or he screenshot this tweet from High Stakes Capital saying, no matter if you're down or not, if you're not excited right now, it's not your game. This is where the money is made. And have a look from Wrecked Fencer, who tweeted, if you don't believe in alt season, look at this. Now tell me with a straight face that it's not happening. You can see this is 2021. Just before alt season actually began, you had that run up, which we just had, which has got people euphoric and excited. And then it dipped. Look at that. It dipped from $20 billion market cap total of all alts down to about $6 billion market cap, a massive 70% pullback before skyrocketing to $400 billion, a nice 100x in the total market cap of alts. Here you can see we're at $365 billion market cap, and we've had this pullback down to 200 mil market cap. It could keep going a little bit more, but as Becker said, what's another 20-30% when this is projected to go up to 8 to 10 trillion, especially if you can find $1 trillion in just one token. So I'm personally buying in this opportunity. I'm going to be making a few buys on this channel, and I'm going to keep you in the loop with all the opportunities and the news popping up. So hit that like button and subscribe below so you don't miss out.